it looks like entrepreneurship is concentrated disproportionately so in some parts of the world. Why is Silicon Valley only in Silicon Valley? Why is Israel so much more entrepreneurial? Shouldn't there be more such places scattered around the world? And should you do something about it? Should we do something about it?
I certainly spend
you moved to Silicon Valley from South Africa. I mean,
I've spent probably most of my life in Silicon Valley or Silicon Valley-like environments, and I think the thing that makes Silicon Valley work is really the people. That it happens to be a concentration of entrepreneurial talent from all around the world, and particularly in technology. Obviously, Silicon Valley is very technology-oriented, but there most businesses that start are not technology businesses. They're in all sorts of other sectors. So, I think the reality is that there's a great deal of entrepreneurial activity throughout the world. It just so happens that in recent decades or recent years even, Silicon Valley has gained a lot of awareness because of things like Facebook, Twitter, Google, obviously, and so I think it may have a disproportionate awareness in the world because of some of those things. But it is, if you want to start a technology business, there's no place like Silicon Valley. There's just no place that has the infrastructure, whether it's accounting, legal, real estate, and it's just gotten really good at creating companies. However, it should also be said that Silicon Valley, most companies in Silicon Valley fail. So there's a pretty high failure rate of Silicon Valley companies, as there is around the rest of the world. So it's not as though if you're there you will succeed. It's an extreme Darwinian exercise, I would say, in Silicon Valley. But in terms of what the rest of the world can do, what sort of I'm trying to think of a useful thing I could say. It's do whatever you can to foster the growth of young small companies, because a young small company it's like a little tadpole. It's got it's very fragile. Odds of success are very low. So anything that can be done to allow it to grow a little bit and to sustain itself in the face of much larger companies is extremely important. And so that would be my advice to, say, governments or on regional state level, is do whatever you can to shield the smaller companies and allow them to grow and be competitive, because the big companies will try to stamp them out. And I know Richard had an incredible battle with British Airways, and thank goodness that worked out, because Virgin's awesome. So I don't know if Richard, if that's an anecdote you'd want to share, but it's pretty. I think that whole story of your battle with British Airways is pretty incredible.